All right, guys, good evening and welcome to today's class. Pardon about my voice. So if you're on this call, please go ahead to drop a message on Discord so that others will join the call. So we have more people join this class. We're expecting your teacher join the class. I think Marv will soon be joining us. So while we wait for him to join, please, if you have questions concerning anything you have learned so far, go ahead and drop it in the chat. Meanwhile, still go ahead to drop a message on Discord so that we have more people join this particular session. So, guys, I believe you do that. If you can hear me, please go ahead and drop a comment in the chat as well so that I know that you are here and you can hear me loud and clear. So, I'm expecting to see your comment. So, go ahead and drop a message in the comment so that I'm sure you're here. Welcome, Av. Good evening.
All right, good evening. Thank you.
All
Okay,
right.
so sorry I came in late. Um, yeah, hello guys. So just give me a minute. Let me. Okay, so I can see we have five people watching.
Yeah.
Um, all right, so Desmond is in the chat. Anita is in the chat. Good evening, guys. All right, so I believe we're good to go, right?
All right. We're good to go. Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, guys. So yeah, good evening once again. I'll be taking the session this evening, and we are going to. Of course, this is your final sessions, at least for the classes, before we jump into projects and continue with the workshops. Um, so congratulations, for those of you that have been joining the classes. Congrats, you've actually made it this far. We're actually going to be talking about growth opportunities and strategies. What we are going to do is we have decided to combine the workshop you have for today, which is teaching you how to use Miro or Miro, as some people call it. I call it Miro actually, Miro, and Notion. So we're going to combine that with the class. Basically, for the class, we're talking about growth opportunities and strategies. So we're going to be discussing how you can identify new opportunities, how you can set and basically, plan and achieve, goals, right? Using some certain, principles, right? Of course, what we're going to be covering is not going to be like, a is not the only material or the only guide you need, right? This is just, from us, okay? The top universe, organizers, okay? So basically, we believe, I mean, these strategies have worked for us, and we believe it can also work for you, right? If you apply it, or if you apply them, in the proper fashion. All right. So I'm going to speak, regarding your technical and professional growth, how you can basically scale, from here. We'll talk about mentorship and how you can also um, try, yeah, because yeah, you basically have to try. You have to try your best. When it comes to networking, it's not easy, right? Traveling, going for events, meeting people, networking is not easy. I mean, we have tried to even do that as well. If you look at the pattern we use for the, training, okay? And yeah, I mean, some things around overcoming challenges, right? How you can basically strive to overcome challenges. Um, this class will not give you like a one size, fit all approach. So of course, you would have to, look out for what works best for you. All right. We'll talk about personal branding, self promotion, and yeah. So I think we can get started. So please drop a message in the chat. Just drop a message in the chat. If we're good to go, just let me know in the chat. All right, Anita, Desmond, Francis. If you can hear me and we're good to go, kindly drop a message in the chat so I can. Yeah, so we can get started already. Okay. I am waiting for your messages, guys. Try to always keep it engaging. Keep the sessions engaging with your instructors, whether it's a workshop or a regular class. All right. Okay, so I think something happened and I actually left the stage. So guys, can you hear me? All right, good to go. Okay, so that's from Dan. All right, good. So let's start off with identifying new opportunities. Basically, of course, we don't have a slide, so this is going to be conversational. Okay, I'm not sharing a slide here. Um, I do have a PDF material that I can share with you guys. Okay, and I think I will probably share that after after this session. Probably share that after this session, or just give me a minute. Let me pull up the PDF material that was shared with us so I can, yeah, I believe I can share this. So this is not a slide actually, it's more of a PDF. Okay. All right. Okay, so I'm going to share this right now. Um, let's see. Export to PDF, export my desktop. Okay. All right, so I'm currently sharing my screen, and let's make this bigger and better. All right. Okay, so yeah, growth opportunities and strategies in product management. So first off, right, whether you're looking to advance your career, or discover, new talent, or basically, live a more fulfilling life, we have to, of course, keep, searching for these opportunities and trying our best, to get into, I would say, to get into the right space, right? Most people might get it confused. When you say getting into the right space, I would give examples as we proceed, right? But just to make you understand one thing, as I said earlier, this material is not going to be like, the only thing you need, to learn how to grow or to learn how to scale your career, right? So there are multiple strategies. I learn a lot from books. I learn a lot from a lot of materials out there, whether they are videos or maybe some sort of actionable content, right? Actionable content, like when you see some materials that say 5 ways to do this, 10 ways to do this, right? Of course, these informations will definitely make you grow over time, and of course you have to learn to filter these informations as well. So let's start off with identifying your opportunities. How do you get to recognize an opportunity um, when you see one? Okay, so of course, growth begins with opportunities, right? You have to recognize opportunities, and whether you're looking out for opportunities, to help you build your personal, professional, or even academic pursuits. These are some of the things you can actually get to consider, right? So the first thing we have here is you have to cultivate curiosity, right? Which of course is very important, especially for those of us in products, right? Whether you are building applications or maybe you are a developer, you are getting into the product management side of things, right? Or you are even managing the product as a whole. One thing you must understand is when it comes to product management, there are different types of product management. Of course, you know that, right? There are different types of product management, and wherever you get to find yourself, curiosity is a big part of what is expected of you, right? If you're not curious enough to ask the questions, we ask a lot of questions. And I'm using the term "we" because I happen to have worked as a technical product manager before, so I get to understand that one of the major things that we get to do is ask a lot of questions. If you don't ask questions, it will be very difficult to to even do your job properly, right? You need to ask a lot of questions, whether you are asking questions to the executives or the C-suite guys, or you're asking questions to the rest of the team, developers, designers. It is definitely part of how you get to extract information, and those information is of course what you need to make that product better over time, right? To stay consistent with developing that product or building that product, you are basically owning the product, right? That's what you do when you are placed on a project, okay? And yeah, so curiosity is very important. Ask questions. Um, whether we're looking at your personal or professional endeavors, being curious and asking questions will definitely make you, one step ahead of the others. Okay, so this is key to uncovering hidden opportunities. Now, the next thing we have here is, you have to be informed, right? You have to be informed. So you have to keep up with the industry trends, the news, the latest developments in your field, and of course, we're looking at products. So I would say the latest developments in product management, right? And this will definitely help you stay informed when there are new trends or new opportunities, and of course this would also help you adapt to changing circumstances. So I've been in situations where you see the experienced guys, the guys will say they have like 10, 13, 15 years of experience, asking questions about some of the latest trends. What exactly is this? I've heard people talk about this. I've heard people mention things like this. They are used to the old-fashioned way of doing things. Some people even tend to brag about those old things. You hear people say, "Back in the day, we actually do it this way, and it was way better." Come on, I mean, over time things will change, right? The way people interact, the way people talk about building stuffs, building products. Of course, we are always talking about agile now. Sometime in the past, people were always keen on using waterfall models, right? So you get to discover that things have changed, and you have to, of course, move along with the change, right? You have to flow with the change because I mean, yeah, definitely, because the tools are getting better. They're getting the industry, of course, is even getting more saturated. So you need new ways of innovating, right? If you are not informed, then definitely you're going to lag behind, right? You get to see interns and junior product managers do things that you're not even aware of, right? You don't even know how to do them. And this is the major reason why I tell people, try as much as possible to stay informed and learn, right? Be flexible, right? Learn to adapt. Okay, learn to adapt to new tools. You might be very used to Excel, right? You get to a company and these guys are using Confluence and they're using Jira, right? And they're using some sort of tools that you have not used before. When you get to understand that these are the trends and these are the tools that are used by 50% of startups or 50% of enterprise businesses. When you're getting into a startup or you're getting into an enterprise environment, at least you know what to expect, right? You don't need to know the exact set of tools, but you know the set of tools that these guys use, and in one way or the other, you are familiar with most of them already, right? So yeah, stay informed. It is definitely important, and it would help you identify new opportunities as they pop out in the market. Okay, now network. All right, so you need to connect with people. I'm sure most of us have heard Amaka say so many times that tech is not for. Uh, so she's always saying tech is not for introverts. Of course, what she's basically trying to do is to make is to pull you out if you're an introvert or if you're introverted, right? So basically pull you out of your shell and make you learn to network. Of course, if you're an introvert and you're in tech, you can code, right? You can do your designs, or maybe any part of tech you find yourself, right? You can actually do something. It might be difficult for you, especially if you are in product management and you say you're an introvert. um, this is a space where you need to communicate to a lot of people, right? So if you don't know how to communicate, you can imagine, the stress that you're going to be faced with every time you are met with such circumstances. Okay, so of course you have to learn to network, and I believe there are so many materials or guides out there that would also teach you, if you're introverted, these materials can teach you how to be good with communication, right? How to learn, right, when it comes to communication and when it comes to networking. It's important. It's something you must always try as much as possible to do, right? So you learn to connect with a diverse group of people, both within and outside your industry. And of course, networking can lead to unexpected opportunities and valuable insights. So imagine visiting yeah, let's say you register for maybe like a conference or a seminar, and you get to meet people that you've not met before, right? And you get to connect with them. If there are opportunities, in other people's startups or companies, they would definitely get to let you know, right? They would inform you. They would say, okay, Amaka, do you have someone maybe in product management? My company is looking out for a technical product manager in this space. Would you be interested, or do you have someone that might be interested? And then, of course, if you're interested, you say, "Oh, I would love to give this a trial," right? So, networking is important. We mention this, almost all the time. It is very important, trust me. And yeah, I think it's something you should definitely look into. So, cultivating curiosity, staying informed, and of course, networking. Okay, so these three things, they're very important. And I'm sure if you choose to, search on the internet, you are definitely going to find a bunch of things, right? But I will tell you that these three things are very important. Okay, so being informed, networking, and of course, cultivating a curious mindset. And when it comes to this option here, being informed, um, yeah. So what I would recommend, right here on this call, try to, be part of so many communities, right? Top Universe, and a bunch of other communities out there, right? So learn to join these communities of product managers, tech communities generally. Okay, so join these communities and get to see what is going on in there. You see trends, you see updates, from different product managers. I think it will actually be of help. And of course, you can always follow channels that drop updates about product management. So follow channels. You can check out an app like Feedly. So on Feedly, you can subscribe to so many outlets, right? So many channels, and you have a single place, for basically for accessing these informations, right? So I use it a lot, and of course, there's no affiliation whatsoever. So this is something I've been using for years, and I can always recommend this, um, at times like this. Okay, so let's talk about setting and achieving goals. And once you've identified, the opportunities, of course, this is the next step. You have to set clear and achievable goals. One of the patterns that you can adopt, one of the methods you can adopt, would be using the SMART um, methodology. Okay, so the meaning of SMART. So we're simply saying you set specific goals, you set measurable goals, achievable goals, relevant goals, and of course time-bound goals. Okay, so you have to be specific. It has to be measurable. You have to say, okay, I want to become a technical product manager, right? So you're being specific, technical product management. Okay, and I want to do this. Let's talk about time bound. 6 months, right? I want to achieve this in 6 months. Now, of course, this is relevant to me because I have this trait. I am ABC, and I think this actually suits my personality. This suits my uh, this actually falls in line with what I would love to do. Okay, so how achievable is this thing? Oh yeah, I mean I have a background in this. I understand this. I can pick things easily. I have a curious mindset. I love to ask questions. I love to build products. Right? I find it fun and interesting. So you make sure that you actually check these things. Okay. So the SMART framework is something you can use to define your objectives. Right? And of course, it would ensure that your goals are well defined and they're attainable. Okay, and yes, you need constant motivation and persistence. um, Motivation is actually important because a lot of people don't actually see the reason for this. So sometimes we say, okay, we're trying to motivate people, and they're like, I mean, people should learn to motivate themselves. Yeah, people should actually learn to motivate themselves at some point, but everyone can't magically do that. Okay, sometimes you need to probably create some things or put yourself in an environment that would serve as a motivation, right? I do tell people, if you know that you are in a space where everybody tried to talk down on you doing some certain things, probably telling you, why do you want to do product Okay. So I think that was from my end again. So it seems like yeah, my network keeps kicking me off. Apologies for that, guys. I had to switch my provider. All right, so I believe I'm going to share my screen again because I believe no one can see my screen for now. Let me do that again. I'm going to zoom in as well. Let's see. All right, sorry about that. Yeah, I'm really sorry about that. Okay, all right, so hope you can see my screen now, guys. All right, so I was actually talking about the technical and the professional growth section here. I believe the last thing we probably heard was me talking about continuous learning. So I'll just quickly summarize that. So when we say continuous learning, we are basically referring to putting yourself in that position, having that mindset to always acquire new skills and staying competitive in that area, right? So always learn something. Always find yourself in that position where you're wanting to learn something new, right? Whether it's within your space or outside your space, right? Your domain or outside your domain. But mostly within your domain, you want to be extremely good at that thing you do, right? Product management, you want to be very good at it. Whether you're learning how to use a new tool, which is why you see we came up with a lot of tools for the workshops. Okay, so try as much as possible to always learn. There are so many things to learn. There is always something to learn, right? And then this is not. So this is not always, like a compulsory thing, but it's something we recommend as well. Mentorship is important, okay? So try as much as possible to find a mentor, who can basically provide, guidance and of course share their experience with you and, help you navigate your professional journey. So mentorship is good. Mentorship is great. If you can find yourself a mentor, that would be awesome. So, try to get a mentor that can, share their experience. Experience is actually very important, right? Someone that has, experience, good experience, you would definitely learn a lot from, their experiences, the good and the bad. And then you would learn to, basically navigate your professional path even better. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if they tell you about some of the bad experience, some of the mistakes they've made, of course, you will try as much as possible to avoid making similar mistakes. Okay. And that's the point of mentorship. Okay. And based on their experience as well, they can even tell you how to the things to do to become better and to learn faster or to even grow and scale faster. Okay, so mentorship is important. Sometimes you might send messages to experienced folks maybe on LinkedIn and they don't respond, and then you are angry, right? You're angry, you're saying I sent messages, this guy did not respond. Yeah, I mean, it happens. Okay, it happens, and you shouldn't take that personal. Okay. If you send a message and the person doesn't respond, I mean, we have a lot of people you can send messages to others, right? Or you can also, yeah, you can always send messages to others. Okay. One thing you can always do is check out the events that most of these people are applying for, right? Or yeah, events they are attending, and you can also attend similar events and get to meet them in person, right? Some of you might say, "Oh, my mentor is Elon Musk," and unfortunately, I can't attend the same events with Elon Musk, so I might not be able to meet him in person. And I think you should get another mentor that is near you. Okay, people you may know, all right? Mentor near your location. So yeah, I mean, you can actually have a lot of mentors you're learning from. Okay, it must not be just a single person, right? Um, yeah, but try as much as possible to have someone you learn from. That's the important lesson here. Okay, so talking about mentorship and networking, mentorship is actually important because these guys can provide valuable advice. They can help you set goals, and they can also provide a good ground, a sounding board for your ideas. So tell me what you think, give me your ideas, and let me try as much as possible to help you, you know, make the idea even better. Okay, so yeah, mentors are great. All right. When we talk about building a network, is also, I've mentioned this already, right? Very important. Okay, so actively build and maintain your professional network. Attend events, join online communities, and connect with colleagues to expand your opportunities. So I mentioned this already, and we're seeing it again here. It is very important. You should always, strive to do this. Okay. And when it comes to overcoming challenges, yeah, we've said this already, but let me come again. So resilience, very important. So cultivate resilience and adaptability. Learn to adapt. Right, it is important. You would always find yourself in new spaces where they get to use new tools. Right, they get to work with a new something new to you. Right, it's a new pattern. Right, you're not used to it. Don't complain. Always learn to adapt. Okay, so use setbacks as opportunities to learn and grow stronger. The more you learn, the better you become. So just understand that. Try as much as possible to keep learning. When you get into a new place, learn that thing. I got into a new company, and I stopped using C sharp as a language for a very long time. I got into that company, though I'm not expected to write code, but I discovered the developers code with C sharp and Java. So, for me, the best thing I could do was I took some courses again, about probably about 4 or 5 different courses on C sharp and Java, just to refresh my memory on some of these things. I'm not writing code, but I want to be, in alignment with the team. All right. So that is for me. I'm not writing code, but if you are getting into a company as a product manager, for example, and what you do is maybe you're used to Jira and Confluence. You get into the company and these guys are using only GitHub projects, or maybe they are using JetBrains Space, Monday.com, Asana, Trello. Come on, I mean, feel free to learn those things, and I mean, you have to. So it's better you learn, right? When you come to work, you are already used to these things, rather than coming in to complain about how you're not used to this and you're always using that. That's not a good thing. So learn to be adaptable. Okay, and yeah. So basically, learn to adapt. So this is these tools and these environments. Okay, and you should also learn from others. All right. So no matter how good you are, when you learn from someone else, you also get to learn from their own their own. Basically, you get to learn how they think about that thing, right? From their own perspective, basically. Okay, so you get to learn from their own perspective. You understand how they see that thing, how they use it, and um how they basically apply it. All right. So this is very important, and of course it cannot be overemphasized. So yeah, so study the stories of individuals who faced adversity, but persevered to achieve greatness. Their experience can provide valuable lessons. Okay, so learn from others, even in your workplace. Okay, ask questions and learn from them. All right, so let's talk about personal branding and self promotion. For me, I would start with myself as an example. I've always seen, at some point, in my career, I always saw self promotion as a bad thing, right? So I always believed, don't promote yourself. You just wait, and someone will definitely figure out how smart you are. Please don't do that, okay? Don't always wait. So as they say, the people always say the patient dog would eat the fattest bone. I mean, sometimes it doesn't really end up that way. I mean, being patient is good, right? It's a good thing. But when it comes to this, our professional space, you have to actually tell us, right, what you're capable of, because we have a lot of people. We're not magicians, okay? We don't see through you. I mean, not that way, okay? So if you are just expecting that, okay, somebody will just wake up one day and say, oh, Amaka must be very good at this particular thing. I think she is. I'm not sure, but I believe she should be. So let's just put her in the spotlight, and get to see the magic she would make here, right? It doesn't work that way. All right. If you're good at something, when you hear your teammates talking about that thing, maybe you can tell them, oh, I've actually used this before, and I can basically pick it up. I can handle this, right? We're also living in a generation where people tend to say, oh, that's not my space, that's not my thing. I don't want to give myself extra work. Let me just leave it. Well, I mean, I can understand where some people are coming from, but the thing is, if you actually speak up and say, okay, I can actually do this, you just have to give me some time, right? I need some extra time to assist you guys with this. um I think it also depends. It depends on your workplace. So long you are not working in a toxic environment, I think that's actually a good thing, right? Always talk about what you can do. Of course, define your brand, and or your online presence is also very important, right? So when defining your brand, you're basically identifying your unique strengths and qualities, and you can present that and say, this is where I basically excel, right? I can do these other things, but you see this one, I am very good at this, right? um, yeah, so your personal brand should reflect who you are and what you can offer. Okay, and online presence is very important. I actually failed at doing this. I failed. I mean, it was terrible. It was terrible. So I basically created a Twitter account, for example. This was in 2011, right? And even till this day, I find it very difficult to tweet. I'm always working on something, working on a project, working on a product for a client, meeting with people, uh, consulting with people. And, when I say, okay, I'm ready to tweet something at night, before you know it, I sometimes even forget the location of my phone, and I'm already on my laptop coding or doing some other things at night. So, for you, this is my advice. you know um Talk about what I mean, put out your opinion, okay? So that would actually help you. For me, what I did was I then decided to go the route of LinkedIn, right? Because I actually I enjoy work to the extent where LinkedIn became a better alternative for me, to basically talk about the things I do, right? The things I do professionally. I actually enjoy that a lot, but I'm trying as much as possible to basically go back to Twitter and make my I mean, become active, right? Basically, anytime I join this stage, it starts off with a Maka's picture. Okay, and when I wait for some time to switch. Okay, so yeah, that happened again. Um, it happened again, and this is obviously what most people are facing, right? Poor network for the past 2 days. Okay, so this is actually going to mess up this stream, but please bear with me. Okay, this is going to mess up the stream. Let's see. All right, apologies for that once again. So yeah, so basically we have two things here: reflection. So always reflect on your achievements and your setbacks. Of course, you're going to learn from there. Okay, so what have you learned, and how can you apply these lessons that you've learned moving forward. Okay, and when you have actually done that, then you move on to the next steps, which is basically creating a plan for your future growth journey. Okay, so always set new goals, come up with new strategies, and continue evolving over time. Okay, um, yeah, yeah. So these are basically some of the things that I would love to mention here. For some of you that would be expecting to say, okay, once I'm done with learning, I should start applying for jobs, and you're already asking yourself if you are ready. Yes, I think when you're done with this training after the project, you can actually start applying. Apply for internships, right? If you already have some experience in the past, you can of course apply for junior roles as well. Okay. If you believe you're good enough to go for intermediate roles, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Apply for those jobs, take those interviews. If you get rejection letters, that of course there's nothing. You don't have to be scared. Okay. Apply for those jobs. You get those rejections if they come in. Learn from them, right? Probably after the interview, you know I mean, you will know if you make some mistakes, right? You will know your flaws. So learn from them, keep learning, keep growing, apply for the next job, and, just continue to scale, okay? Yeah, yeah. And we've actually spent a lot of time already on that. What I'm going to do now is this material will be shared with you. If you have any questions, drop your questions in the chat. I'm going to quickly, I'm going to share my screen, and I'll be sharing the Miro environments so we can actually start off from there. Okay, so let's see. Let's share. All right, so if you have any questions, please drop your questions in the chat. Yeah, let's see. What do I have here? Okay, so this is it. All right, so drop your questions in the chat. Take them. Yeah, drop your questions in the chat. Okay, so what we are seeing right now is I call it Miro. I've met a lot of people. People also call this Miro, right? Yeah, but of course I call it Miro. So whatever you call it, this is miro.com, miro.com, and yeah. So basically, what exactly do you use Miro for? Okay, so this is actually a collaboration tool, right? So you can actually check this out here. So let's click on that. And you see you can use this for, virtual project management. You can use this for, hosting your workshops and asynchronous collaboration, right? You can use this for diagramming and process mapping, So yeah, so you can use this for data visualization. So basically, you can use Miro for a lot of things, but I would just tell you, just as a general overview, this is a collaboration tool. All right, so it is used for collaboration, and it's really it's worth learning. All right, so I think we've actually taught this in like almost all the cohorts, right? There's always a class for teaching how to use Miro. I love this tool. I use it a lot, and of course I've met a lot of people who use it a lot. Okay, a lot of companies out there use it as well, and it's a great tool. Trust me, it's a great tool. So all right, so let's look at this. You can use this for for strategizing with your team, for planning with your team. You can use this to basically design customer-centric solutions. Of course, brainstorming, um, which is also collaboration, right? Yeah, yeah. And what we're going to do now is we're going to create an account. We're going to use this. So in order to use this tool, the first thing you would want to do, of course, is to set up your account. I already have an account, but if you don't have an account, you have to click on sign up for free. Okay, so it's a free collaboration tool. And of course, it has some paid plans as well. On the free plan, you have some things you can actually do, and you get more features when you pay for it. Okay, so you can check out the pricing. Let me click on that. So you can check out the pricing. You see you have a free account, and on the free account, you can actually do some of the basic stuff like you have a single workspace, you have 3 editable boards, you can share contexts and save time with 5 top tracks. Okay, so let's see. You can um, yeah, you basically have 2,500 these templates, yeah, templates, right? Plus templates, okay? So yeah, you can actually achieve a lot with the free plan, but of course, as you grow, you are definitely going to create a lot of boards. So yeah, you would obviously want to move to like the starter plan after a while. Okay, but we can do a lot with the free plan. So let's go ahead and create an account. If I click on go to dashboard, I think I already signed in. I believe so. Yeah. Okay. So I already signed in because I have an account. Okay. And I also downloaded the desktop version of this app. So if you're just like me, you want to use the desktop version, you can simply search for Mirror. Let's see. Yeah. So, okay. Now this is basically bringing me here again. I let's download. Okay, so /apps. All right, so basically you can download when you visit mirror.com/apps. Let me drop that in the chat. Okay, so you can actually download this on your mobile, your Android device or your iOS, your iPhones, and you can download this for your Intel, whether you're using a Mac, an Intel Mac, or you can download this for your Mac. I said for your Intel. You can download this for your Mac, and if you're using an Intel Mac or an M1, you can download this. You can also download this for Windows. So obviously, we don't have a binary for Linux-based machine. So if you're using a Linux machine, you probably want to use this on the web for now. Okay, and yeah. So I have downloaded this already. I use the desktop version because I love having that native feel. But for now, let's just go to dashboard. I think I have that opened up already. So when you sign in, when you have your account created, this is the first thing you see. This is your dashboard. Okay, and I have some projects here because I've been using this for a while. But for you, I mean, this might be empty, maybe just one board or probably no board at all. And you have to create a new board. Okay, so you can click on the plus icon here to create a new board. You can start a new board, with a mind map template, a Kanban, template. So these are basically templates, okay? And of course, you can, you can set up a new board with one of these templates. Now, if you check over here, you see this is your menu. You have, first of all, you have different, workspace, right? These are, your workspace or your teams. Okay, so it's called teams here. But the idea is you set up a new team. You add your teammates, right, or the members of that team, and you guys can basically work together on, the projects, which are basically the boards. Okay. So right here, when you click on this, you get to see your recent boards. When you click on this, you see your starred or your favorite boards. When you click on the team section here, you can basically see the team profiles. So I'm not going to click on that, but of course, you're going to see your team profiles. You can add or remove team members, right? You can add integrations, right? Let's click on apps and integrations. So this will basically take you to the page where you get to see a bunch of integrations. My network is a bit terrible, so please bear with me. While we wait for that, yeah, you can also upload, a project from a backup that you have. Maybe you have saved some backup somewhere. You can actually upload. You can click on this to invite team members. You can upgrade your plan, and here you have your profile. So when you click on your profile, you see you have settings, apps and integrations, upgrade, and of course you can log out from here. Now we don't need to dive into like some of these things here. I mean, you can definitely figure that out. If you visit settings, you can obviously figure out most of the details you have in settings. Now this is for the apps and integration. You see, we can integrate a spell checker, Google Image, Adobe Creative Cloud. We can actually integrate some of these services and get to use these services alongside our platform, our products, okay, or our board. Okay. All right. So I think Jem dropped a message. Am I the only one not sharing anything? Okay, so you're not the only one. It was actually a network problem, and so I discovered that it was actually general, like from my end, and I think even Amaka's end, and even Ella's end. So it's kind of terrible. Yeah. So I think yeah, what we're going to do is instead of having this back and forth, we're going to communicate with you, and we'll reschedule the workshop session, which is to teach you Miro and Notion in a different class. Okay. So since we're having holidays on Monday, we might reschedule for that day. But of course, we'll discuss with you guys on Discord. For those of you in the Discord community, we'll drop a message on Discord immediately after this session, and yeah, we'll basically communicate with you on Discord. So, guys, I mean, for those of you that participated in the class, I hope you have, yeah, I hope we learned something. Apologies for the network issues. We'll reschedule for a different date, for the workshop. All right. Yeah. So thank you. Since I am just alone on the stage, to avoid this, long pause again, would have to reschedule. All right. So I'll see you guys in. I'll see you guys on Discord. All right. I'll see you guys on Discord. All right. Thanks, guys, and do have a wonderful evening. All right. Bye.